What's going on, guys? Jacob Worth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, and I can, heck, take the shades off. So I'm in the shade right now. It's 90-something degrees here in the morning, so it's already warm. Low in the 80s today and a high of death, I think, is what's in the weather forecast. And talking today about something I haven't had to do a video on this in a while, because going back to last year when it came to like all these COVID numbers we're talking about here, I know this is not like a fun topic, but guys, please like the video anyway, but it's an important topic because this is something that could really impact you if you're planning to come here to Las Vegas, and also if you live here in Las Vegas. So we're going to talk about these COVID numbers. I've been getting a fair amount of questions about this lately, and it's been more and more in the news. What's going on with COVID? What's going on with this Delta variant that we're seeing right now? And a good chunk of the stuff I'm going to talk about today comes from a Twitter account I'll link down below called @MeganMesserly. She does a really good job reporting on a lot of this stuff. So we're going to go over some of these numbers. We're going to talk about what's been happening lately here in Nevada, what's been happening near us in Nevada, and what the potential situations are going forward when it comes to COVID and the impact it has here in Las Vegas. So the numbers on July 15th, so middle of July, we're looking at the test positivity note. With a 7-day lag, keep that in mind, there's a lag time on this. With a 7-day lag, was actually up almost 11%. That's up almost 0.5%. Previously, hospitalizations were slightly down to 771, and then cases are up 710. So the latest vaccine numbers you have from the CDC when it comes here to Nevada show that the total vaccine doses given, it's about 2.8 million. The total people that have, or the total number of doses that have or total given at least one dose is about 1.5 million, and then fully vaccinated it's about 1.3 million are the numbers we're looking at here. So basically just over half, a little over 51% of Nevadans are either fully or partially vaccinated. Now there has been news even when it comes to vaccinations, and with the vaccinations, there's concerns people have with that, right? Some people don't get it for a variety of reasons, okay? Some choose not to get it, whether it's for political reasons. Some may choose not to get it because they're just not sure of the long-term effects. Others, they just are pretty indifferent to the whole situation. Some people, they're not, they really don't follow any of this kind of stuff. They just, they can go about, live their life and be pretty much uninterrupted. That's pretty much all they care about. So there's a variety of reasons people may not get the vaccine. So, and even with this, when it comes to the vaccine, some of you have probably seen articles lately when it comes to things like, there was one about here in Las Vegas where it said at least 11 healthcare workers, 8 of whom were fully vaccinated, tested positive for COVID-19 after attending a pool party here in Las Vegas on June 7th. And of those 11 people, the article said that at least 10 of them caught the highly infectious Delta coronavirus variant. So that is what's in the news a lot now lately, right? Is this variant where if you have the vaccination, you still, like as this article would imply, that you're not really protected from it. So who knows where this is going to go in terms of how bad this can get. But it's just kind of it's odd timing, because for Las Vegas, it's been getting progressively better since last summer. If you guys remember, last summer we opened back up without a mask mandate. Then Governor Sisolak put in a mask mandate. And then there was, eventually made more and more progress in places where you don't have to wear masks inside and that kind of thing. I've only seen one doctor's office over the last few months that required a mask indoors. I've seen other doctor's offices that don't. Most businesses I've seen, they don't require a mask indoors. So there's been progress when it comes to that. If you're looking at those kinds of things as a gauge to how well the area is doing. Now, something that happened up in North Las Vegas was also in the news. A lot of people were in a very cheery mood up there because Governor Steve and other community members, they gathered to hand out the first of $5 million in prizes to vaccinated Nevadans. So that's one of the things lots of states are doing. So they're giving out, trying to incentivize people to go and get vaccinated, basically holding like a lottery system, if you will, which we actually don't have here in Nevada. So basically holding a lottery system where people can win money for taking the vaccine. So that was something that happened where, Governor Sisolak joked. He said he felt like he were at the Oscars or something like that, giving out awards or giving out cash awards to people for getting the vaccine. One thing he did say from the article, he says, while we're in a much better place now than we were a year ago, he said the pandemic is not over. So that's one thing that Governor Sisolak cautioned when he made his remarks. One thing with Clark County, though, and we've been in the news for this recently when it comes to COVID, and it's not for good reason, is that Clark County has emerged as the epicenter of the latest surge of the virus, according to another article. This article also states that as of Friday, Nevada had the 4th highest case rate in the nation per capita over the last 7 days. So that's why you're seeing Las Vegas, you're seeing Nevada more and more in the news when it comes to the coronavirus and the new variants and all that kind of stuff, because we've taken so many people who travel from other places here that, like, this is really the perfect place in that regard for a virus or something to spread. Now, another point is says as well, some public health experts have renewed calls for the federal government and individual states to reinstate mask mandates and other mitigation measures in light of the latest surge. Governor Sisolak told the Nevada Independent that he does not see a new mask mandate on the horizon. It's kind of interesting to hear. He says he is confident that we can get the word out, we can get enough people vaccinated, Sisolak said. He said, I don't want to take steps backwards, which, I don't think anybody really wants that. But we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in our neighboring state over in California, because what happens over there does impact us here in Las Vegas in the state of Nevada, being our neighbor to the west of us, and being the fact that, with Los Angeles to Las Vegas being, 4 hours or less of a drive, lots of people, a lot of our tourism, a good portion of it does come from people just driving from Southern California here. So what's happening in California, there have been some changes throughout the state there. One of the things that has happened in California was an article that came out about Los Angeles County, and they're making a change that said, due to increased COVID transmission, LA County will be requiring masks indoors regardless of vaccination status, starting at 11:59 on Saturday, July 17th. So wearing a mask indoors with others reduces the risk of both getting and transmitting the virus, is what the County of Los Angeles is saying. So they're also encouraging, LA County health officials are encouraging people to reconsider travel to Nevada, because again, they know, like you and I know, that lots of people just love to drive from Southern California here to Las Vegas for a weekend trip or whatever the case may be. So that's what LA County health officials are saying. They're basically encouraging people to not come here to Nevada and not come here to Las Vegas because they're worried about the virus spreading. One thing that also happened in California, this is big too, is because the California state capitol in Sacramento earlier this summer reimposed a mask mandate after 9 staff tested positive for COVID-19, including 4 people who'd already been fully vaccinated against the virus. So that was this report that came out, which is why some people are concerned, because they feel like they've gone through the steps of getting vaccinated. They think they've done what they could to protect their health in a situation like this. And now you have reports of people who've gotten both doses of the vaccine and they still get the virus. They still are getting sick. And that's the big concern here in Las Vegas and Nevada, is the numbers. Sprinklers came on, but I'm safe where I'm at. So anyway, so that's the big concern, is the numbers here in Las Vegas, the numbers here in Nevada, because we are such a big tourist destination and travel hub, really for the world, is that all the people we have coming and going here, that is the concern, that this would be a place that people, would contract the virus and take it home and spread it to other places. And right now in Las Vegas, we have had big events return. So we've had obviously big games for the Golden Knights happening. We've had concerts over at Allegiant Stadium. So we've had events where large groups of people, tens of thousands of people, are gathering together. So that was the part that has some people, public health officials, concerned, is what that could mean going forward for people. Now, when it comes to Las Vegas shutting down or that kind of thing, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Okay, if our own governor is saying he doesn't even expect to have a mask mandate coming anytime soon, then I really doubt the state's going to be shutting down again anytime soon. And when it comes to that, one of the big criticisms I know happened a lot in the summer is a lot of people felt like Governor Sisolak, they felt, was just following like whatever Gavin Newsom was doing in California. So it is important to kind of look over at California and see what's going on over there, because that can affect us here in Nevada, certainly. But I don't think we're going to have, Governor Sisolak, like I say, doesn't expect to have a mask mandate anytime soon. And I think, part of that's because obviously he doesn't want to take a step backwards, but also too, remember, he's got an election coming up here in the relatively near future. So doing something like that obviously could make it harder for him to campaign. When it comes to, even if he does put another mask mandate, I doubt shit. Oye, güey. No me dijiste que vas a hacer eso? Fuck. Whew. All right, so back after a guy who was working on the sprinklers here turned them on, didn't tell me, and I just got wet, so I had a nice little chat with him. But when it comes to the virus numbers here in Las Vegas, and mask mandates, shutting down all that stuff again, at this point, like I said, Governor Sisolak, he himself has already said there's not going to be a mask mandate. He doesn't want to put one in. So if there's not going to be a mask mandate, I don't think we're at a big risk of Las Vegas shutting down again. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens with California next door, with the numbers here, and how things progress with the with this new Delta variant when it comes to COVID. So I know some of you are concerned about traveling here and that kind of thing with the COVID numbers, but at this point, it's really just following along and seeing what happens throughout the summer with these numbers. But I think things would have to get, pretty bad with those numbers again for there to be some kind of action taken again at the state level here in Nevada. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Hit the like button if you didn't do so yet. That is it for this video. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.